So this is Fly Fishing Mythbusters. And I'm going to put the sole back in Euroflies. And so this is an article that Andy Puyans published probably mid-70s. And Andy's the guy who I took fly tying lessons with. And Andy was an absolute perfectionist. And so the proportion of the tail and the abdomen and the thorax and the wing, all that stuff was very critical to him. And along those lines, the first step in this process was where and how many turns of lead you put on the hook shank. Andy had a formula. 20 minus the hook size tells you the number of wraps. You had to cut the lead a certain way, so more was on the, yeah. But I'm going to honor Andy here, stick with the proportion stuff, and show you the bead. And this bead is on a, ding, ding, ding. It's on a piece of 14-pound mono. And so the first thing you want to do is come to where the head of the fly would be, because you got a little nub, right, a mono there. It's not going to bother anything, and you tie that in. And there it is. Okay, it's tied in right there. Now, here's the bead. You're going to slide the bead, right? And you want to slide the bead, well, probably to where you're going to make the thorax and the wing case. And you just throw your line over that, and there you go. That is the spot. At least I hope Andy would think that was the spot. And remember, because the bead is completely off the shank, I'll show you that as best I can. The bead is completely on top of the shank. It's going to ride hook point up, like all Euroflies should. Okay, so you got this far. And I'm not going to show you the whole tie. If I can find a link to the site that, so I'm going to stroke that little piece of mono that I got up there, and I'm going to go around the bead horizontally. Sorry about the dog barking, right? And tie that in. And get back to not being backward. All right, so the bead is in. That little nub now, right? You don't need it anymore. It's gonna be in the way, and so you're just gonna snip it. I got lots of wraps on there. If you wanna put some super glue on at this point, go ahead. But Andy was really big on natural materials, but the real genius about the AP nymph, right, is that you're going to use a feather, one feather for the tail, the body, the wing case, the legs, the whole shebang. And I've got a piece of turkey here, easy to come by if you got a turkey hunter, and I really like turkey for this because you get these really fine tips, right, that are the tail, and then you get really black in here for the wing case. And so I will finish this fly, hopefully find a link to a site that I found a long time ago, I hope it's still there, that shows you all the variations of this and how they match up with different stoneflies and mayflies in the West, in the Sierra. And I will use, in honor of Andy, the same dubbing that I would have gotten from his fly shop in 1975. So I hope you see how this is all working. This will change because of the tungsten bead. It basically becomes a Eurofly. It's a heavy fly. It's as heavy as you're going to get, tungsten bead. It's not taking anything out of proportion. This, if I didn't even put any kind of dubbing on this bead, it would be in the right place and be about the right color. So I hope this helped. Now, let me just bring up one point. So this is mayfly, right? The same concept. Melting beads on, right? I use to make my caddis patterns in any size. And the only difference is I dye this with food coloring, but this is a nail knot with like 14 turns. And that becomes the body, right, of the caddis. So there's more to come, obviously. I hope you saw my short, and I hope you figured out and agree that I myth busted the problem with Euro flies not having a soul. They have just as much soul as any traditional fly once you learn my trick. Bye.